June 19. So welcome. Okay then, I'm Citizen Jones. Today on the program, President Buhari tells security chiefs their best has not been good enough. He says excuses would no longer be accepted from them. And later on, we'll share this with you. Nigeria's daily COVID-19 infections hit a record 745 cases, just as concerns mount over strike by resident doctors. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. If you are shown, the distance between us is up to 4 meters.
Which
Did I greet you?
Which is really
which
pleasing.
I think is good.
It's pleasing
it's good.
to me.
Oh, come on.
That I'm far away from you.
And then Sifon Essien is our man in Abuja. He'll fill us in the course of the show. And of course, on the inside, we are going to have Jacqueline Ogo to talk health. But stick around. The team is ready. I hope you are. Three days after leaving the APC, Governor Obaseki was received by PDP leaders led by the state chairman, Tony Aziegbemi, at the party secretariat in Benin with some of his followers and political appointees. Now, let's share the moment with you. 4 politics, very interesting. Sometimes I wonder if I was not in this crazy business, if I could have been a politician.
Yes, and all those quotes that you drop at us will be really useful. But Obaseki has finally joined the PDP, having filled his membership form and submitted the form. We expected him to end up in PDP, and that's what he has done.
Oh, you saw it coming?
Of course, it was obvious, because having been meeting with the governors of PDP, Tambuwal, Wike, all of them, it looked really likely that he would join the party, because the option of joining the Accord Party was not really that promising, because he would then have to spend all the money alone. But with the PDP now, those governors will rally around him. The governors have resources, tremendous resources, especially the Rivers governor. We all know that. They will rally around him as one of their own, and that will make the election more interesting, more keenly contested.
You're painting the picture of a cash and carry politics for me.
Of course, you cannot divorce politics from cash, money politics from our own kind of politics here. From the point when you buy the form, in some cases for up to 20 million naira, you buy the nomination form. You realize that you are going to spend so much money. Party leaders will take money from you, you know.
But I do know that politics is not, repeat, not an exact science.
Yeah, but our own brand of politics is a peculiar one. Before you can become a governor, for example, you must be ready to spend in the region of billions. It's not going to be easy. You have to spend money. You have to mobilize people on election day. You have to pay foot soldiers. Sometimes, to take people to your rally venue, you have to send money to the various wards. They will go and hire buses, and each of them, at the end of the rally, they will still be paid. In some cases, just about 1,000 naira each. So you can actually see see a venue filled with people. But on election day, it may not translate to votes because many times people are paid to even show up at rallies.
Okay.
You know? So it makes our politics extremely expensive. And if you are not ready to spend money, they'll say, oh, it's Akagom. It does, and they make sure that you don't win.
Aka-Heraldite. Again, you spend that much and you are in office, you recoup.
Of course, you recoup.
In quotes.
You recoup.
Oh,
you not only recoup, you can even recoup 100-fold what you have spent.
Makes it an ideal business in this kind of environment.
Yes, an ideal business, one with a huge profit margin.
Okay.
That's the way it seems. Permits my
and so
my speaking
when
in this
Christians
manner.
say, may God embarrass you with goodies, this is what we are talking about.
Yes, because this is a very rewarding business. The only disappointment that I see is that the governor came up with a law disallowing the gathering of more than 20 persons at one location. And in the light of the COVID-19 season that we found ourselves. And he gazetted it. But what did we see? That certainly was nothing like social or physical distancing.
You could have sworn that was an old footage. Okay, all right. Edo, we wish you well, okay?
We wish Governor Obaseki well.
Very well.
We hope that the contest will be free and fair. We hope that it will be devoid of violence. We don't want to see our people die. We want to see a healthy contest.
Okay.
And may the better candidate for Edo State win.
Determined by the people.
Yes.
Yeah. All right then. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari is a cheerless man as we speak. He is most unhappy with security chiefs in the country. And so in reprimanding the military brassards on Thursday at the Aso Rock presidential villa, the commander-in-chief warned he would not condone any further deterioration of the security situation in the country. At a Security Council meeting attended by all heads of the armed forces and the police, President Buhari told them in his own words, quote, "Your best is not good enough." We had at this hangout said, whereas the opposite of security is insecurity, the only way to overcome it is to take new risks, Jide.
Yes, we must take new steps. We must come up with new strategies that will address the peculiar security situations in the different states. There are states where the strategy that you deploy may not particularly work. So we have to look at each of those situations and come up with the right strategy. But we can't keep doing things the same way and expect a different result. So if we are not succeeding, it means that we have to take a look at the strategy that we have deployed and then be more inventive to come up with better strategies.
Yeah, so the counter logic here is change security chiefs. Have you heard it before?
Yes, yes.
Still a plausible option?
Yeah, because it's desirable. They've given their best. If the president can say it to their hearing that your best has not been good enough, it then means that he has to look in the direction of other people. We can't keep them till eternity.
Okay.
No service chief stays in office in perpetuity. You've got to change them at some point, and some of them have even exceeded the number of years permitted permitted for them to be in public service. So why not think of new persons and new ideas?
Let me draw a parallel with what happened in the United States of America, specifically in what state now? Brooks was killed in Georgia.
Yeah.
The chief of police there resigned. That cannot take place here. Or am I dreaming?
No, it doesn't take place. It's not in our DNA. You know, you like to use the word DNA. It's not in our DNA.
I don't even know the meaning.
You like to use the acronym DNA. Yeah. And I'm saying it's not in our DNA. Other people will tell me, no, no, you can't go now. No, you are the best thing since sliced bread. Remain in office. No, they will say to him things that will make his head swell. Yeah. And then he will believe that, look, his methods are the best. They don't quit. You saw what happened in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is one country that defeated an internal insurgency.
Yeah, yeah.
Defeated insurgency. When they tell you that no terrorist group can be defeated, Sri Lanka told us that's Tamil Tigers. Yeah. Sri Lanka, after 25 years, defeated the Tamil Tigers. Defeated as in after the
annihilated.
Defeat, yeah, annihilated. Yeah. They could not raise a finger after that. And what did we see? There was that terrorist attack. The police chief left. So that's the way it should be. If you can see clearly that your best has not been good enough for your country, it's a patriotic thing to just step aside for someone else to come and do it.
New blood,
new blood, new ideas, new invention. And that's what we've been saying to the president. Now, if he can say it now, I suspect it's because of the avalanche of condemnations from across the country that in terms of security, the president has not done enough. I suspect that that's why he has come out this time to say, you service chiefs, you've not done enough. Because in the past, he used to take their blame. You say, no, they are doing well. You can't change them at this time, this and that. But this time around, we are hearing him saying, no excuse will be tolerated any longer. That means the president now realizes that they've been feeding him with excuses all this while, whereas we have serious security problems. We talk about rape, it's also a security issue.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we talk about armed banditry, it's a serious security issue. And the Boko Haram insurgency is still very much there. There are still many communities that you cannot access. Nigerians are still staying in Niger Republic. Nigerians from Borno State, they are still going to Diffa Prefecture in Niger Republic to hide. Some of them have fled into Cameroon to hide. I've seen the governor of Borno State go to Diffa in Niger Republic to distribute palliatives to people from his state. And there was a stampede because the people felt they had been forgotten. There was a stampede and I think 3 or 4 of them died. So it's sobering. I've seen an House of Assembly member from Borno State go to Niger Republic to share palliatives that the governor said he should give his constituents. Is that where it should be shared? If there is security, he should be sharing it inside his own country. But he went outside the country to share it. This is not fiction. Abadam local government, 132 settlements. There is not a single of those settlements that people are living inside them. It's a reflection of the security situation that we found ourselves.
And many of our soldiers are disgruntled.
In many ways, yes. I think we can do a lot better in terms of welfare for the soldiers, in terms of providing the equipment that they need. You see, even their morale will be very high if they know that they have excellent equipment to work with. I was speaking with the IG in Abuja just before the lockdown, and he was telling me that when they provided the armored personnel carriers and some equipment for the elite force in the police, that they became very happy. That's what happens if you are given the right tools to work. The zeal to deliver will envelope you and you will give your best. But if you don't have the best equipment to work with, even that one can dampen your morale more than not paying your salary.
We'll come back to that. But then our man is standing by in Abuja. Sifon Essien, I greet you. Greetings from Lagos. Sifon, are you there?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right, Sifon, so bring us up to speed.
I'm fine.
Okay, all right, it's okay. Let's fill us in with what took place yesterday. We're talking about the commander-in-chief meeting with the security chiefs and so on. He told them no more excuses. Sifon, take it over. Are you there?
Now that's the headline. No more excuses would be accepted by the president. Now this is the first time he'll be coming this clear to say he would no longer tolerate whatever he's been fed with in times past, considering the spike in the challenges we've seen in terms of security. Top on the list, insurgency claiming a large number of persons' lives, precisely next to banditry, and even in the states, Katsina is also been in the news for all the bad reasons, talking about banditry. So now he's given the service chiefs a marching order. Now, this is not the first time. A while ago, about a month ago, he gave them a similar directive to, in his words, clear banditry in his states and its environs, as well as North Central. That operation is ongoing. However, we have seen the bandits strike at several points in time on several villages in spite of the operations. We understand, security forces have made us understand that some of these bandits have links with insurgents operating on the fringes of the Lake Chad. But yesterday was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and the president has made it clear that no other excuse would be entertained except they get results other than what they are getting. And we also gather that the military is trying to work out a new strategy that would be a mix of the old and modern methods of warfare, to be able to stem the tide and reverse the fortunes with what they are recording currently in the operations. But exactly the details of what they are going to be doing in days to come is what we yet do not know.
All right. Sifon, no more excuses would suggest to me that all they require to get the job done is in place. Right, wrong? Am I right?
That's the impression it gives, that all they require to get the job done is in place. We've reported time and again that the military is taking delivery of equipment a lot better than, say, 6 months ago. I was witness to tanks that were brought in during the lockdown, well over 13 of them, brand new tanks for the Nigerian army, and they're being deployed in the theater. We are also witnesses to other equipments by other arms of the armed forces, the Air Force and the Navy. But it's one thing to bring in the equipment, is yet another thing to deploy them effectively. They are the professionals, however, but comparatively speaking, we've seen the operations on the side of the Chadians, talking about the Rotor Bomber, the 2-week operation, and comparatively taking stock of what they have from a distance, you understand that they have less than 10% of what we have in terms of equipping. Now the results they got is what is in public glare. Now, does Nigeria have enough? Experts have said that, number one, in terms of strengths, we are far from the desired goal. In terms of equipping, we are certainly not yet there. However, we are certainly better than we were 6 months ago. But the result is what people are eager to see.
Did you speak with any of the military chiefs? And what did they tell you? Or what did he tell you?
To x-ray the challenges and talking about the operations at hand and the balance of force in terms of distribution of troops across the board. Where there's a deficiency on the side of the Army, the Air Force fills in. Where there's a deficiency on the side of the Air Force, the Navy fills in. But at that point, we also get to understand that coordination is key. as coordination being at its best, it's a big question. The military is trying to get better coordinated than it was. The CDS time and again has said that get better coordinated than it was. The CDS time and again has said that coordination or working in synergy is being the problem. Therefore, the services should work better to get results. But the service chiefs and perhaps other security chiefs have also, agreed with this, the CDS's remarks, and they are working out strategies in making sure they work together. I spoke again with the coordinator of defense media operations, and he also assured that the strategies that the military would adopt is what we are going to be seeing results perhaps in the next 1 week. They are still fine-tuning the details of that strategy. But one thing is certain is that a lot of differences would be introduced, because as it is, applying the same formula means getting the same results. And as the president has said, your best is not good enough.
Sifon, in reporting what transpired yesterday, your best is good for us here. So the Hangout thanks you very kindly.
We hope you continue to give your best.
We hope you continue to give your best, not more than your best anyway. We expect Ona Ekomu to join us very, very soon. Until I'm giving the okay. Jide, can we quickly talk about policing? This is when you need a revamped policing. Okay, I hear Mr. Ona Ekomu is there. I greet you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How do you do?
Doing very well. Pleasure to speak to you, sir.
All right. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief has read the Riot Act, so to speak. So what do you expect from here?
Well, we hope that there'll be a little bit more action going in now. There'll be more zeal, there'll be more effort, there'll be more strategy, more brain work going into putting together how we're going to conquer this. Again, I'm sorry to use an old language, almost a cliche now, this galaxy of security threats that we have all over the country.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that the government will do the needful in terms of having the resourcing, which some of your guests were speaking about, for the military, because this has really gone beyond police capability, as it were. And so we really do need to have the military. And the military has been on, take for example, the Boko Haram job. They've been on it for the past 11 years, and we still don't see the end of it. And now this Northeast terrorism stroke banditry, whatever you want to call it, is gaining momentum, is gaining strength. There are new camps coming up. There are new terrorist commanders being made. The whole of those 6-7 states around the Rugu Forest, they are all, they are all encamped. The forest itself is encamped with a lot of terrorists, and those are the people who come out and kill those people in those villages and communities surrounding the forest. So, I mean, the point here is we know where the enemies are. We know where they are operating from. Why can't they be contained? I mean, it's this whole concept of ungoverned spaces in this country. That is what is giving rise to the insecurity we are seeing.
You just mentioned it, even if in passing, the police in the whole mix. You know, picking information, vital info concerning the enemy is key here. What about going back to the old way of equipping the police, making the police live up to its billing?
Thank you very much, sir. That's a beautiful concept, but the problem is that it's observed in the breach here. It doesn't really, it doesn't work here. The police, I think this started from the military era. The police was really so emasculated, and they have lost self-confidence in terms of serious threats. like, this stress of banditry and terrorism and what have you. They have lost their nerves, as it were. And so saying that we should rely on traditional policing to take care of this. Besides, this is really it's not the role of policing. When you get to an armed conflict, when you get to a situation where people have taken up arms against the state, that is the work of the military, because these are insurgents, these are people, these are enemies of the state. Police is more for law enforcement and order enforcement, law and order. So their role is slightly different. But when you have Baba Boko, for example, burning and pillaging towns, the police cannot stand them. If you remember the history, let me take you just back a little. Back in 2010, Boko started killing police personnel and shooting them in the head in Maiduguri area. And when they killed so many of them, it became apparent that, and then when they did the jailbreak on September 7th, jailbreak in the one in Bauchi, the Bauchi jailbreak, that's when the government now realized that there was a real threat afoot in terms of Boko Haram. So what I'm saying is the threats of terrorism in the northeast, terrorism in the northwest, terrorism in the north central, all these threats that we see, they go slightly beyond police capability. And that's really why, well, they can help. They can now serve as an assist. They can augment the efforts. They can, we call them force multipliers. They can become force multipliers for the military, like all other agencies, like we in private security, civil defense, all those people who cannot serve, even citizens can serve as force multipliers. But why I said the work for the civil service chiefs is cut out now is because they now have to come up with creative ways in which these agencies and these helpers can be put together to help achieve the purpose of securing the nation.
All right, quite a lot to discuss, but the constraint on TV, it's time. But let's thank you very kindly, Chief Honor Ekomo, for coming. Except that
thank you very much.
Internal security of any country devolves on the police. Right, wrong, Jide?
Yes, I think the police have also shown that if they have all the resources, they can do it.
Because the IG was there at the meeting yesterday.
They can do it, but we need to encourage them by providing them the right equipment.
And do a lot less of scapegoating the police.
Yes.
Sifon Essien wants to drop the last word before going. Sifon, we can turn things over to you again. How do you sign off from there?
Well, for me, I would say that a lot more needs to be done. It's a fact. The president has affirmed that fact. The events of recent days are indication that a lot more needs to be done. And in reference to the police, we've also seen that when the police is adequately empowered, equipped, better welfare, they can do better. We saw that when troops of the Nigerian army were attacked and equipment taken from them, and the police team comprising Special Anti-Robbery Squad, Counter-Terrorism Squad, swooped on the insurgents and got back those equipment. That was a good one for the police, and they've proven that with better equipment and good funding, the sky perhaps could be their limit.
All right, Sifon, we must let you go back to your busy schedule. Thank you for your time. Take care. All right, Jide, what more can we say?
Yes,
the coming days are very, very vital.
There is a lot that needs to be done. In many parts of Sokoto State, Rabah local government, the local government where the late Sardauna
Shagari
Bello was born.
Rabah,
Madu Bello, Rabah is littered with bandits, running riot. Tureta, Sabombrini, Isa, these are local governments, even Kebe, that is close to Kebbi State. These are local governments where bandits are killing people for fun in Sokoto State. You go to Katsina, Dandume, Damusa, Faskari, Basari, Jibia, all of these local government bandits are running riot.
Avoidably.
Because we simply have not come up with the right strategy to tame them. And it cannot continue. We can't be watching our people being killed for fun by bandits. It has to stop. It has to stop.
Enough of all this should be too much.
Yeah.
Okay. We must go to our next story. And so still to come, Nigeria's daily COVID-19 infections in the world and has hit a record daily infections rate of 745 in our Nigeria. Tell us the days ahead is tendentious indeed. The total tally of infected people in the country rose to 18,480 from 17,735 as of Wednesday. In all, 35 states in my country have recorded at least one case of the virus or another, in addition to the FCT, Abuja. Now, the odd state out is Cross River. So, weighed against the drowning of tools by resident doctors in the country, Nigeria is in a state of extreme distress. I have Jacqueline Ogo, healthy looking. She's the health correspondent. Jacqueline, I greet you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Don't smile too much. Otherwise, what's ahead of us is not a funny one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
But when your faces are hard like men, we come in to tone it down. That's what just happened.
Come on, here we go.
Okay.
Anyway, you are at the hangout.
That's what we men do.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, yeah. So, there's still trouble
There is.
in terms of COVID-19. We are not out of the woods yet.
At all.
Do you think Nigerians are persuaded enough to see the picture? Are they seeing the big picture?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And that's because sometimes we don't live within the level of reality that we should live in. And then there are drivers of information. When you don't use them very well too, people remain, where they shouldn't be in terms of information.
Yeah.
So that one is one factor. And then another thing is that Nigeria wants a very strong national response to COVID-19. That's talking about the government trying to, integrate that or, entrench it. And then we also have people who believe that there is COVID-19 and they want action. Now, there are drivers of the reality of this action in the health sector. Those are the health workers that are the frontliners. These frontliners are talking about very, very salient issues that should not be, swept under the carpet, that need quick response to ensure that their morale does not, go down where it shouldn't get. They say they want to be well protected to handle a highly transmissible virus, a very highly transmissible virus. And they are not getting the equipment they need for the protection. So that on its own is a big issue. I'll take you to one experience I had in Luth. I went there to, cover the report on the institution setting up an isolation center.
Yeah.
So when I got there, it got to the point where I needed to take my piece to calm, do my PTC. And then we started. All of a sudden, the second in command came in and said, "Madam, I think you have to leave. You have to leave now." I said, "Why, sir?" He said, "No problem really, but just that, our first patient is coming in here." Immediately he said that. You need to see the palpitation of my heart. I said, "God, what did you say? Your first patient." I started running. The cameraman, we ran like, he said, "Come back, your paper has fallen." I said, "Sir, don't worry, I was running." And then when we got outside, we're still panting. The next thing I said to myself, are these doctors real? Are nurses real? You mean they do this all the time? You wake up in the morning, you have someone you love, you have your children, and then you're going to where you meet with a very deadly virus all the time, every day. You can't even tell the next second if you're not seeing someone else coming in. So they have realistic issues they are putting forward. If you ask me, I'm going to be so real about this because it needs that. You know, they want basics. Basics. If I'm doing something that stretches me beyond the normal, then I should get something to cushion me beyond the normal. And if I'm taking high risk, I should get protection.
Okay.
That's it. These are the key issues they're talking about. And if you ask me, we have politicians in Nigeria. They don't do as much as come face to face with danger every day. But these same people, they take the chunk of payment.
Let me cut in here. All of 36 states, excepting one, as we sit here, namely Cross River State, claim, you know, have experienced COVID. So Cross River is COVID-free, as we sit here, in your heart of hearts?
No. We know what the papers say, but we know what reality also speaks of. So now, when you don't have testing, even Lagos, that has tried as much as possible to be proactive about some developments, like even in the case of COVID-19, Lagos cannot tell you that it, as a state, is so capacitated to handle this. So if Lagos cannot say we are very well capacitated, we are no longer challenged, I don't know, I'm not being sentimental about this. What state in Nigeria will come and say, we are okay, there's no problem here, when they don't even have the facilities, they don't know how to go about it, and they say we are free. We are free is a no-no in the atmosphere of reality when it comes to COVID-19.
All right, Jide, quickly, Governor Yahya Bello's aide, Abdul Latif Suleiman, 41 years old, died of complications attributed to COVID-19. But the CPS, the press secretary in the state, Onogu Mohammed, says he died of cardiac arrest.
Well, I was not at his bedside when he died, so it's difficult for me to say.
To join issues.
To say Onogu is lying. But I know that the state government has done its best to give the impression that Kogi State is COVID-19 free. And I know this is a lie from the pit of hell. You are not COVID-19 free. It's because you are blocking testing. If you allow testing to take place, supervised by the agency of government that is permitted, you know, to make that happen, we will see cases from Kogi State, because Kogi is like the terminus of our country. It shares borders with 9 states, and then if you add Abuja, that's 10. So how can a state located in the center of the country, and people are traveling all the time, say that they don't have this case, when even Abuja, that is just about, let's say, a little over 2 hours away, Abuja already has more than 500 or 600 cases. So
because the NCDC is saying they have identified 3 cases, at least 3 cases in the state.
Yes, the structure is what the state government has exploited. Because if someone goes to FMC Lokoja, for example, and the doctors just suspect that it's a case of COVID, they then have to call the health commissioner for the state. That commissioner will come, he too will have a look, you know, you will ask questions, and then it is his decision to take. So at that point, he can say, no, this is not COVID. Because if he accepts that it's COVID, from that point, the state government takes responsibility. And you begin to spend money. You heard what Lagos State said it has spent on testing alone. You heard what the Anambra State governor said it has spent on testing and even building isolation centers and all that. So that is the reason this whole thing is happening. I suggested something like that. If the president would say that, look, we are going to take over the funding of all COVID-19 cases across the states. Some of the states hiding now and rigging, this what's it called, testing, and blocking testing.
Jide, how do you rig testing?
No, you don't. You rig the process by not allowing testing to take place.
Okay,
that is the thing. You rig the process. If look at some of the states, for example, they don't have test centers. They have to take samples to neighboring states for those tests to happen. If they don't take those samples there, nothing happens. People will sit back in that place and think that, okay, nothing has happened. So you can actually receive test samples and refuse to take them to where the test will happen. So this is the way that some states kind of make sure that their numbers are low and all that. Did we not say before that what's happening in the southeast You are not getting many cases from the southeast. But you saw what happened with Abia.
God's own state.
Yes, and you are seeing cases now from Abia.
Don't take me there.
So the moment you ramp up testing,
yeah,
the results will go up. Lagos State has improved its capacity to test.
Okay.
So having done that, we are seeing more cases from Lagos. The more you improve the capacity to test, the more cases that you discover.
Jacqueline, don't talk about the ongoing doctors' strike, resident doctors' strike. But let's look at this crazy situation. Somebody takes ill at home, he or she is ferried to a nearest hospital, and he or she is rejected.
Yes.
For fear of goodness knows what.
Yes, the personal protective equipment, is very essential at this time for anybody that wants to treat COVID-19. So when a doctor does not have it, the people that are to manage that kind of situation do not have it. They do not have the kind of confidence that they need within themselves to approach a situation like that. It's like you seeing, warriors coming, they all have weapons, and you say, I'm a warrior, but you have nothing. Then you are not being realistic. So the warriors...
You have nothing but faith.
Not that faith in itself is a bad thing. It's just that there are some situations that are so realistic that you can't afford to be caught napping when you get into them. You have to be up and doing. So that's why, I would want to delve into the need for, appropriation of funds in the right way in this country. Sometimes we get carried away by events that are not as important as some other pressing ones. So when you put money where money is not crying to be present, there's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
There's a problem. But I like the fact that, the inversion, let me call it that way, call it that, of COVID-19 in Nigeria has become an eye-opener for the government and the people, especially those that want to stay in the realistic space, because there are some Nigerians that are not just there at all. So
the ones saying, it's a scam.
They say it's a scam. And this virus is highly transmissible. And when it gets into you, it's a hunter. It starts to hunt for vital organs.
And when you hear it
cripples your system.
And we hear when you hear it is mutating, then there's wahala ahead.
There's different strains of the virus. And Nigeria is a country that does not spend the bulk of its money on research.
Oh, yeah.
And research is key for wisdom in the health sector, for approach, for response. Now, if this country says, okay, we want to make sure we tackle diseases well, you don't tackle diseases with grammar. You don't tackle diseases by calling journalists to just take pictures and do a ceremony and you walk away. No. You tackle diseases by making sure that whatever you say is followed by actions.
All right, Jacqueline, we are joined now by the Chairman Advocacy at Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Henry Ewunonu. I hope I got that right. Doc, good evening.
Yeah, you got it right.
Idem for. All right, let's go. So what do you have on the cards as we speak?
Yes, thank you. Today I greet you, and I must continue to thank CDC for the unprecedented advocacy. I think they're health advocates #1.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, you see, the issues on the strike, certify them into pure administrative or logistics issues. Government said we have some PPE. We have started distributing. It has not gotten to you. Calm down until it gets to you. But our question is, before it gets to our members, what happens? Will they continue to put their lives at risk and be attending to patients? It's taking almost forever for these PPEs to arrive. The other one is funding issue. Funding issue, especially when it comes to payment of those allowances which government herself described as special risk allowance.
Are you there?
Go on. Hello?
Okay, Dr. Ewunonu.
Okay,
go on.
Hello?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
The MOU was signed on 24th of April 2020. As at today, we are now hearing, it's only a few hours ago that we heard that government has released 4.5 billion to about 13 teaching hospitals. So we're asking, from 24th April 2020, what have government officials done to actualize this wish of the president? The Minister of Labour himself is the one that said the president of Nigeria has graciously approved this one. So every day we continue to hear that the wheel of governance in this country drives very slowly. Driving very slowly at the expense of people's lives, when there are over 850 healthcare workers in Nigeria who have contracted this disease just because they came to work.
Yeah.
And over 50 of healthcare workers have died. NAS is an organization that is speaking for every healthcare worker in the country. So they shouldn't be demonized.
Okay.
NAS for now is a mouthpiece. Then I would say there are first issues. Ordinarily, when government says, my dear children, go back to work, don't worry, I'm attending to you. So how come the Falcons are no longer hearing and obeying the Falconer? Serious trust betrayal.
Yeah.
That keeps on emphasizing this. Government, you have told us severally, go, this thing will be done.
Yeah, Doctor.
And it was not done.
Dr. Ewunano, but let's ask pointedly, isn't there a middle ground to be steered between government and doctors? As we
Yes, the middle ground is let government demonstrate goodwill and that they can be trusted. By out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 demands, now they're saying let us see some low-hanging fruit, block it. They take, for instance, the insurance policy. If it is signed, let's see the copy of the insurance policy. Fine, they will know that this thing has been signed. See, from 21st April till now, insurance policy pen has not been put to paper. So how long will it take to transport personal protective equipment from the medical stores in Lagos and Abuja to nearby states? They say, once we see goodwill, we will reconsider. Now say they will call another meeting, try to convince the members. But as long as it is go back to work, don't worry, government is doing this. The Minister of Labour himself acknowledged it, that this wheel is grinding too slowly. And I'm using this opportunity to call out the president.
all right.
Mr. President, please, if people you have given duty are not doing well, do something.
Yes.
Do something and do something fast.
We thank you. We thank you, Dr. Henry Ewunano. Thank you for your time. Judy, quickly, we can go there. The strike by resident doctors at this time.
Yes. You see, over time, people have come to believe that this strike is the only language that government listens to. It is when you go on strike that they then scramble to try to solve your problem. And many times we think that we can intimidate workers, get them to go back to work. But some of the demands that these people are making are legitimate. The tools that you need to do your work, the personal protective equipment, you should be able to provide
PPE,
that. So the issue of money, doctor salaries being slashed, hazard allowances not being paid and all that, it runs across the health sector. It's not even resident doctors alone that are complaining about that. Because other categories of health workers are also complaining.
But the Labour Minister, Jacqueline, is a medical doctor. Does it matter in all of this?
Well, you know, when you wear the shoes you wear, you know where they pinch you, right? So right now he's a minister, and the other
he's on the other side.
He's on the other side. He's on the other side. So you know he's going to be speaking from where he is sitting or standing. So these people are speaking from where they are and stating the realities of their own domain of operation.
Yeah.
So I think that there is nothing wrong in responding, especially when you know that you have some of the grains of what you're talking about running in your system. You know it. You know what they go through all the time. Like I told you, when I came face to face with that sentence, I ran like someone mad. So these people wake up every day to meet with danger. It's not funny. So I'm a Christian, and the Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children. These people can go to work, and then from there, a few days after, they could die. So they don't have any inheritance.
Jacqueline,
that's not easy.
I may not be a Christian, but what's good is good. What's bad is bad.
Sure.
Jide, how do we take it home?
Yeah, I think that government should stop issuing threats to these doctors because it's provocative to be telling them that you are going to apply the work to rule policy, this and that. Go ahead, negotiate with them, achieve a middle ground. Because you can see that even their president is saying, instead of them to address our demands, they are resorting to cheap blackmail. Is that not the joke of the century? So I do not see it as a joke, but the government must do what is right. Respond to these demands, take steps to solve these problems.
We leave it there. Let me thank ladies first, gentlemen before.
Jacqueline,
Did that make sense?
Yeah, but in our profession now, there's no gender.
Okay. Non-gender,
No, so.
Jacqueline Ogo, I greet you.
I am a lady any day.
Oh, come on.
I'm not gonna
All right then. Jide, Babajide, I thank you very kindly.
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much.
Jacqueline, many thanks. That will just about do it for today and the week. The program returns on Monday, but if you missed this edition, watch the program on other platforms, which will show on the screen, and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel remains the same. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now. Take care.